Hello everyone, welcome back to another English online session. I hope you all fine. Today we are going to review two important chapters from the textbook First Flight. The first one is Nelson Mandela Long Walk to Freedom, and the second one is from the Diary of Anne Frank. So these two chapters we are going to quickly review the important points of these two chapters. First chapter we are going to review is Nelson Mandela Long Walk to Freedom. This chapter is the extract from the Long Walk to Freedom book. It includes the description of the inauguration ceremony and citations from his speech about his journey to being a freedom fighter. It says about other countless people who fought for their freedom. In South Africa, a brutal practice named apartheid was very popular in those days. It referred to the discrimination between people on the basis of their culture and race. It was one of the most brutal societies in which dark skinned people were deprived of their basic rights. This lesson gives an overview of the struggles of Mandela for making the society with no discrimination on the basis of their color, caste, race, age, or gender. So, from this reading, we understood that this is the real struggle of South African freedom fighter Nelson Mandela, how he chose to fought against the white people who just ill-treated the natives, and how he won the freedom for the South African people, and very nicely explained about the inauguration of the first democratic government of South Africa. A Long Walk to Freedom by Nelson Mandela is all about the struggle of freedom of South Africa. On May 10, 1994, Nelson Mandela has taken the vow as the first black president of South Africa, and therefore it was becoming a newborn democratic country. Nelson Mandela took the oath as the first black president. Many dignitaries from different countries had came to be part of the most significant day. In his speech, Mandela thanked all those dignitaries. Mandela assured his countrymen that this country would never ever experience the same suppression of one by another. Democracy had been established in South Africa, and as a result, a government on no discrimination was established. So, here the initial passages are explaining about the inauguration ceremony and his speech, his assurance to the people. The people of South Africa sang two national anthems as a symbol of that day. Mandela recalled that the reason for this moment was that black skinned people were exploited by the white people. He said that this type of suppression of people of South Africa is the origin of many stars. People must learn to hate first, because if they hate, then they can be taught to love, as love comes from the opposite circumstances. He also says that a brave man is not that who does not feel afraid, but who conquers it. In life, a man has two major obligations: first towards his family, to his parents, to his wife, and to his children, and the second, on the other hand, obligation towards his country, people, and the community. Everyone fulfills his duty as per his inclination and interest, but it was very tough to fulfill in a country like South Africa. So here the important points are he was saying that love is more natural that can be developed in the hearts of others than hate. The second point is about two obligations. The first one towards family and our relatives, second one towards our community and the country. When Mandela became an adult, then he understood his freedom was only an illusion. In fact, he was the slave of exploitation. He also understood that not only he was a slave, but his other family members were also. According to him, freedom is also mandatory for them who were suppressing others in the past. They also have the right to have it because snatcher of others' freedom is a prisoner of the same. Thus, oppressor is as much a prisoner as the oppressed. The oppressor too is not free. The brave man is not the one who does not feel afraid, but he is the one who conquers the fear. Mandela said that every man has his duties towards his country and community too. So in this chapter he is remembering a number of freedom fighters who just developed or just rised because of this oppression, and also his childhood memories about the freedom. He didn't take all these things seriously, but when he became a college student he started realizing how this freedom is refused to him. Then he also remembering about the comrades, the people who stand with him and fight against these British people to get freedom. So these are the very brief points about this lesson. The second chapter we are going to review is from the diary of Anne Frank. This lesson is an excerpt from Diary of a Young Girl or the Diary of Anne Frank. It is an autobiography that was first published in 1947. In this, Anne expresses her thoughts in a diary which was gifted to her on her 13th birthday. She names the diary Kitty, which she considers as her only true friend. She mentions about her childhood, her family, and a lot other things that she told no one else. The author is Anne Frank, feels that it is strange and unusual for her to write a diary because it is the first time she is doing it. She feels that it is the future. In future, no one will read about a young girl's past experiences. But then she puts these thoughts away and decides to write her thoughts. The author is feeling very lonely as she has no friends to talk to. She wants to give her need of a friend a shape, hence decides to name the diary as Kitty. The writer feels that the paper has more capacity to absorb thoughts rather than people who have low patience level. She has a good time with friends but cannot share everything with them as they are not true friends. She refers to her father as the most lovable who presents her the diary on her 13th birthday. So from these lines we understood that in her childhood she couldn't find anyone as a very close friend, so she decided to write diary which was given by her father on her 13th birthday. So everything, so she doubted that someone would read this after this, and again she decided to write. She thought that no one going to read or check this because it is the diary of a 13-year-old girl. Then she decided to write the diary entry. She considered it as a friend and gave the name Kitty. On June 20, 1942, she mentions how her class is nervous about their results. The author says that the only subject she is unsure about is mathematics. She and her friend G, are trying to stop the students from making noise. According to the author, about the quarter of the class should not pass as they do not participate in any activities, and recalls how the max professor is constantly irritated by her talkativeness. While talking in his classes, he gives her extra homework as punishment. The first punishment is to write an essay on chatterbox, which the author thinks as weird. She imagines about the topic and decides to present concrete arguments in support of talking. So we are aware that Anne Frank, the Diary of a Young Girl, is very famous. That we understood most of the sufferings and the things happened in concentration camps from her diary. This was written when she studied in a school before they went for hiding, and just recalling all the things happened when she was studying in the school. And she particularly talking about Max professor, whose class she used to speak, and because she was talkative, he used to give her extra works as punishment. First thing, she was asked to write an essay. The topic is chatterbox. The teacher indirectly calling her as a chatterbox. She writes that she will try to be better herself but cannot uh, eliminate talking completely. The professor finds it amusing but allows another topic after she did not change her nature. The topic is an incorrigible chatterbox, which refers to a habit that is difficult to change. After keeping an eye on her, the professor gives her another topic. Quack, 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 said Mistress Chatterbox. As a punishment, she runs out of a thought after writing two times on a similar topic. She decided to write her third topic in the form of a poem, and writes a satire, and likely the professor takes it lightly. The professor recites the entire poem in front of the class, and the author talked uninterruptedly after this. In the story from the Diary of Anne Frank, we can conclude that a young student needs to talk and feel joys in order to stay mentally fit. Read these two chapters thoroughly till you understand the ideas. Don't forget to have a dictionary while reading. See you in the next class. Bye.